Okay, guys, and that's it. Stranger Things has come to an end. I know this is blurry, but these pictures don't know. I just had to find a quick photo. Anyways, I just barely watched the finale because it was like glitching for me or whatever. I couldn't like get the episode or whatever, so I had to just wait. Um, but yeah, before we begin, I have a supporter creator code at DWS for DK if you want to support me, buy Stranger Things skins and whatnot. So I just watched the Stranger Things thing. I just made a review on my letterbox. Dang it, I keep on forgetting I need to put the reviews on at the end of these. Well. Yeah, y'all can just go follow the letterbox at TWS4DK. But anyways, let's begin. So the finale starts off where we pretty much left off from the last episode. Them going, all the gang going into the Upside Down. Well, pretty much everyone. And then obviously we go to the lab and whatnot. Mike, obviously we all know what Callie told L11, whatever you want to call her, Jane, about what her plan wants to be, about basically offering themselves, sacrificing themselves. Mike doesn't know this. He's just like talking and stuff. Like, all right, after this is over, we're gonna whatever, blah blah blah. I was like, oh bro, does Buddy know? And I was hoping, man, I'll get to that all at the end. So basically, we see Murray, Hopper, Callie, and 11. They go into the they go into the upside down Hawkins lab, and then we cut to Vecna, Henry Krill, whatever you want to call him, with all these kids doing this demonic ritual. Anyways, and obviously they're bringing the world down, the abyss to the upside down, and obviously, and then we cut to the Dimension X, the abyss, whatever you want to call it, and we see it open, and it goes down, and we see the upside down, because obviously, yeah. Come back to the squawk where Vicky and Max are at. They're just talking and stuff. And then we cut to the team that goes to the upside down squawk. Obviously, Steve and everyone. And then we get everyone in their positions. 11, gets into the bathtub for, so she has to, go to Henry's mind, and we come back to, Max and Vicky. I thought that, like, Vecna got, like, Max or something because she was like, whatever, but no, it was just Callie and, Elle, obviously. I was like, wait a minute. And then I no, this was the plan, so yeah. And then we come back to the upside down where all the people are at the top of the squawk building, the squawk tower, and they realize, Dustin realize, Lucas realized, and at the point of the thing, it won't fit in because it's not lining up with the thing, and everyone starts to worry and whatnot. And this is when my heart literally like dropped, bro. I thought Steve was freaking dead. The one character I did not want to die died, but no. Jonathan came in clutch and caught him before he fell, and boom. Bro, I thought Steve was dead, bro. And then everyone goes up to the thing, they go up to the abyss, everyone, Dustin and Lucas and whatnot, they were like, just joking around, was like, you know what? Are we like dimension travelers, or like ER out, like Buzz Aldrin or something? And then we see them, obviously looking at the whole Dimension X, the abyss thing. Cut back to Elle and Max and Callie. They find the kids where Max, where like Henry and all of them is keeping it. And Henry believes that the kids are gone, but Callie is using her powers. Yeah. like make it seem that that they're gone, but they're really there, and then they actually do leave, and then when Henry walks through, they're gone. So yeah, and then so come back to the abyss. Steve and Jonathan have a heart to heart and stuff. Just talk about, what, I really, Nancy's just a friend and whatnot, and I owe you one and whatnot. And then we come back to Hopper, and Hopper realizes something's wrong because he notices these barrels that weren't there before or something. And Vecna shows up, and Hopper shoots at Vecna. And it turns out he shot the freaking tank and shot L. And I was like, oh shoot. But as it turns out, it was just basically what Callie does. And so L is not dead. Hopper just shot at the tank to, blow it up and whatever, to get, L out of his mind and whatnot. So L, Hopper confronts L and Callie about their plan of, sacrificing themselves, and he says, I will not blow up the C4 to blow up, the matter thing that's holding, the whole wall and thing together. And he's like, I will not blow it up as long as until you tell me. And they have a good heart to heart, basically saying that he doesn't want to lose or whatever. And then, obviously we see these military people pull up. And then when Henry reaches the cave that they're in, Henry basically decides to confront his fears. And it doesn't go as well. He's just standing there at first, and he walks through, and he starts to hear, the whole stuff. Go back to the abyss with, Joyce and everyone. And Robin, Nancy, obviously everyone that's up there. Obviously, making a plan to, get Vecna and get the kids. And so basically, what happens next? The military guys, they get Callie and Hopper, in a room holding hostage, and the guy is about to shoot Callie, and there's those little noise things that that 11 that makes them weak or whatnot. And so Barry gets a grenade and one of the C4s, and he throws it at the helicopter and he just blows it up. And then the guy still shoots, but he doesn't shoot Callie in the head, he shoots her in the stomach. And she's bleeding out pretty bad, and we'll get into the whole thing later. That happens. But she's basically dead. And then so, what's it called? Cut back to the cave where Henry, it's basically, we already knew this, that the Mind Flayer is behind pretty much everything, and that the Mind Flayer basically is using Henry, and they're both using each other, and they both need each other to survive and stuff. And so the Mind Flayer comes alive, and just the final form or whatever, it's a pretty big motherfucker, bro. And so he's chasing, the Mind Flayer is chasing them, and before this, Elle and Hopper were talking about, hey yo, it is my choice, I am not a kid anymore, I am not your other daughter who died of cancer, which is, I don't know, that was kind of weird to say, but so she goes up to the abyss, and then we get basically the door, a rival in Wakanda, but not really, when everyone seems down and out, when the Mind Flayer's about to attack them, about to get them, and then we see a big old rock, and it's freaking L. But Doreen, Dora Wakanda scene is a billion times better than this, but yeah. And so L goes inside the mouth, or the neck of the Mind Flayer. Oh, sorry, I thought of a joke that I cannot say. Anyways, so she goes in the neck of Mind Flayer. Him and her and Vecna start fighting. In fact, no, I mean, like, um, they do say that if the Mind Flayer gets hurt, the Vecna gets hurt. But I mean, like, the way he was, like, defeated, like, a little bit easy. I mean, I don't know. Anyways, but basically, we see L lift him up, and then he's about to, extend his arm to kill L, but Will stops it. And, like, this scene right here with the Mind Flayer and, like, all this fire definitely reminded me of the season 3 finale of, at the Starcourt Mall with, like, the mini Mind Flayer or whatever. But yeah. And so they basically, they defeat, L defeats Vecna, so, like, obviously the Mind Flayer dies and stuff. And so basically, oh, we went too far. Basically, they get the kids, they reunite, there's, like, all these flashbacks that Joyce gets, and everyone gets, to, like, all the stuff that Vecna's been wrong and stuff, and Joyce is freaking Thanos heads freaking Vecna, bro. Vecna is dead. And so everyone returns safely and soundly, and everything is good. But no, I remember before this happened that the military in the real world found Max and Vicky and whatever. And they laid down spike strips at the exit of the Upside Down, and so, they're trying to find Elle, and then we look back and freaking Elle is in the Upside Down, and she freaking sacrifices herself or whatever. And so we cut to 18 months later, a year and a half later, and look at that hand sign. And also, Freemason, tiles at the sorry, anyways. So we basically see what's it called? Mike and everyone graduate from high school. Steve is now the head coach for the baseball team and also the sex ed teacher. They made a big deal about that as well. And also he's, like, trying to buy a house or whatever. And then when they're taking pictures or whatever, Karen, Mike's mom and stuff is, like, saying, I haven't seen Mike at all. And Hopper knows exactly where he's probably going to be at the memorial, whatever. And I'm going to be honest. This scene and, like, a couple other scenes started to make, I didn't cry fully. I definitely started to tear up during this scene, like, out of all the other scenes. And then we see Dustin basically do what Eddie would have done if he would have, gotten the diploma, if he would have survived. We see Jonathan, Steve, Robin, and Nancy, all, just talking to each other and whatnot, just catching up. And then we go to Enzo's, and Hopper proposes to Joyce. And he also is, like, saying, if you want, I don't know if that was a gunshot outside or a firework, but I've never heard a firework sound like that. It was like do 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 do. I don't know, it might have been a firework, I don't know. If this video doesn't get uploaded, then it wasn't a firework anyways. So it was Hopper proposes to Joyce, talking about if they want to leave Hawkins and go to, I think it's like a small town in New York or whatever. I just thought of a joke. They're about to see Dexter, but it would be, like, way later. But anyways, in a small town in New York, they need a new chief of police and whatnot. The pay would be like a 20% increase. Right here we see the hand sign anyways. Then we switch over to Dustin, Max, Lucas, Mike, and Will all playing D&D. And, like, at the end of the thing, they're like, the campaign is basically talking about, all of them. Dustin goes, like, to do library stuff, like, whatever, and he's also, like, doing, like, another, like, I don't know how to explain it, but anyways, Will leaves the town, goes to, like, another town or whatever. He's scared at first, but then he finds a boyfriend, acceptance or whatever. Anyways, and then Lucas and Max, they talk about it, and then like the mage character is like supposed to be Elle, and like it's pretty much hinted and basically shown that I just saw So basically, what happened? Callie didn't die instantly. She was still alive, so her and Elle made a new plan. Callie like did like this like projection thing that showed Elle in the upside down still, but she left and she went to a new town like I don't even know where this is. This looks like somewhere in Europe or something. Anyways, and like she leaves and like starts a new life or whatever, which is like I'll get into it later. And then that's basically it. It ends on that. It ends on this. My gripe with this finale is like, bruh, they need to like let like some of the characters die. Obviously, like Elle dying is like massive, but she didn't die. It's just a projection. I was like kind of like disappointed that she actually didn't die. She actually survived. It's like those emotional scenes, like, bro, oh well. Anyways, I'm so glad I started to watch Stranger Things now and not waste years of my life on it. Because if I did, I would be probably a lot more disappointed. I'm not that disappointed. I mean, it's still like a decent finale, decent episode. Oh, like, but like, bro, they need to have the balls like kill some characters. It's like I for sure thought Steven. That was like the only character I did not want to die. I'm glad he didn't. Bro, they need to have some balls to kill some characters, bro. Like them like showing like Elle died and she didn't. I was like, come on, bro. Cause when I was watching it, I was like, okay, this is pretty decent. And then like during the middle, I was like, okay, this is at least like a 4 out of 5. And then like when like Elle died or whatever, like that emotional scene with like Mike and Hopper, I was like, okay, this is getting a bump and a half star. I'm just like thinking my Letterboxd review, but like also like it's like I don't know what to say. But anyways, this is my first video of quote unquote 2026. But we all know, the actual 2026 doesn't start until March, April 1st. But they changed it because like April. Anyways, I'm not gonna get into that this video. Anyways, I hope I can like make more videos like this. I definitely need to get back in the groove of things. So I am a little rusty at making these videos. But anyways, like, subscribe, comment on post notifications. And God bless you, Sazu Prem Forcefully. And God bless.